Okay, so I've been making a few different Akai Fire scripts, failing at every attempt. Well, not necessarily failing, but um, every attempt that I start getting functionality going. But then when I try to add more functionality, the script just gets like really confusing and hard to like manage and not be able to do the thing. So I'm kind of on my third restart attempt. And I also noticed that there's just not a lot of videos actually showing people actually scripting specifically for like the Akai Fire, uh, or just really just not a lot of in-depth videos. Like a lot of them just kind of go over like some really not that what they're going over is basic, but what they're going over is like the same thing that everyone else is going over. They're going to tell you to like, oh, look for the information for every event, and um, but it really not going over programming. And if you try to like watch videos about Python scripting, you'll like be like watching a bunch of videos without getting anything, without doing what you want to do. And what you want to do might be really simple. So that's why I'm recording this. I'm just gonna try to document my process, not to show because I'm not a scripter and I barely started doing this like literally months ago. And I work a full time job and I try to do music on the side, but just some things that I really want to do with the Kai Fire, and I plan on trying to do it myself, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not gonna start off with like straight up nothing. So what I already have here is, and I don't even really know what I'm doing, but a lot of other scripts just kind of import all this stuff. So I might end up using these things, but yeah. So just importing all this. In the case of the fire, there's there's a certain amount of buttons. A certain amount of buttons that they all have particular like IDs, and those IDs I put into like this dictionary. So, uh, and and for some of the IDs, I just give them like a name here on the key. And for the pads, I've given them their X and Y Z coordinates are in the dictionary. Uh, so, well, actually, not quite X Y. It starts at zero. I just found that because a lot of the things here, like they actually start with zero. And that's actually pretty common in like scripting, or like programming languages or whatever, where like the first index of something is actually zero. So where you expect to put down, oh, channel one is one or something, or something like that. Sometimes it's like zero, or the first element is like zero instead of that. So if you know anything about coding, that's like pretty normal. But that's what that is. Right here, it's the only thing that I'm starting off with, which is just it looks to see if there's like uh, a MIDI message. It then takes the event data, and then it says the event data 2, which equals the value, or the value equals event data 2, and the ID equals event data 1. All right. This is not stuff that I figured out. I just took this from like other people's code. So um, even these green notes here, I don't even think I didn't write that. So I literally copied and pasted from someone else. Um, and so yeah, so pretty much I just have it printing the name of it takes the ID and then it prints it uh to the console, or I don't know, maybe it's not the console, but when you go into FL Studio and you go to view, there's a little option for script output. So you can go view script output, and then you get this information here. So right now, if I press a button down, it's going to see if the value is in the if the ID is in the dictionary, right? The ID of the button, which is like a unique a unique number in this case, of the button, is if that button is in this list in this dictionary, which I've gone through and I've checked what the IDs are. So if you're using a different device, you need to like check what every button does. Like in the I think it's in MIDI settings. What is it? And it's like the debugging log, or something like that. Whenever you press a button or something, yeah, every time you press like a button, you get like a you get this information, and you can use that to kind of figure out. Um, hey, you can use that information to kind of figure out which button is doing what. Yeah, I think it's here. But if you're following along, I'll probably make like a post in like the image line forums with like this stuff, and like every day I'm gonna try to do a little bit more and get towards my goal. My goal is to kind of make like a channel drums thing where like each one of these represent like a channel, and then the different layers here represent like the velocity. So you don't necessarily have, because this thing does have pressure sensitivity, but it's just really terrible. Uh, so, and plus I'm more of a like I want it to be precise, so I can just set this to be like 20% velocity, or I probably go with like 30%, 60, 90, 120. I think the velocity values are like between like 0 and 127, or 1 and 127, something like that. But yeah, so right now, I'll just show you real quick. Like if I press a particular button on the device, it checks the ID, and then it prints out the value here. So if I guess if I, and you'll see that come out here. So record, just it's just shooting, it's just matching and then printing out the result to that match. And so, and here are the pad buttons. Um, um, Using these kind of XY ish values to kind of map out where it is. I've tried a bunch of different ways, like making like a list of like the first row, and then making a list of the IDs for the second row or something of that nature. But um, from what I've done before, this kind of works no matter what you're trying to do, if you know a little bit of math or something. Wow, I'm already taking up time. I thought this would be really quick. Okay. So, starting from here, I suppose the first thing that I need to do is I need to. Actually, you know what? There is. Okay, so we gotta select a channel when we press one of the buttons. Um, so, like, I'm gonna do like an if statement or something. So first, we're doing like a MIDI note on, right? Uh, we're finding out if the button is in a dictionary, but on top of if the button is in a dictionary, we want to know if the ID, right? So if the ID is is in um, pads dictionary, maybe something like that. It's in pads ID. Yeah, I'll call it pads ID. And then there, and then we'll need to have it do something. If it's in the pads ID, we'll tell it to print. This is a pad. So, all right. So I haven't like actually made this yet. I just need to make it. So, the pads go from 54 to 117. So what I'll do is I'll just take these. Copy. I'm gonna say, call this pad. You know what? I'll call this pads dictionary. And is it a formatting issue? So, oh, I need to use the equal sign. There we go. So now we have like a dictionary that is just the pads. And I'm gonna call this pads dictionary. Actually, I'll just use dict, dict, to keep things from getting too long. and I'll learn how to spell dictionary correct one day. Um, so if I click save, it should print. If I hit a pad, it should now print. This is a pad, and it should then afterwards it should print like the coordinates of the pad. So I'll just go here and go reload script, and I'll hit a button, mute one, mute two, mute three. If I hit a pad, it should say this is a pad now. Now it says this is a pad. So I'm just making sure that the whatever I'm hitting is a pad, because that's what I want to select channels, right? So when I hit the first pad here, right, I should be selecting the first channel. And when I hit the second pad, I should be selecting the second channel. And when I hit this third pad, so on and so forth. And then like the different levels, I want to be like, this is channel 1, right? So, I'm going to use this for drums. So, the velocities will be mapped here. Okay, so now I need to go and look at the documentation, because I literally don't know the documentation, but it's like pretty simple. FL Studio scripting, MIDI scripting, Python. I mean, you can watch me search for it. So let's see here. Select channel. All right. So select one channel. All right. Select channel at index exclusively. All right. So copy that. Come in here and let's see here. This is, so I'm going to make like a function, I guess. So come up here. What's that? Really, I'm not like, I don't even really know. Oops, fun. Okay, so type in, oh wait, no, it's define. Yeah, there we go. Define, right? And we're going to kind of select, keep that together, select channel, and select channel, open, close thingy, or colon, and I just tell it what it needs to do. We know that that's select channels a thing. Also in the things, you have to use the channels class. I don't know. You have to, is it, oh, I put too many ends, that's why. Channels, there we go. And I know it's right because it turned blue. At least I think that's how that works. This video is going to be so sad because I do not know what I'm doing right now. Okay, so select channels, and then I gotta look back at the thing here. It says integer index. I like integer is a whole number, right? So, oh, you know what? I need to shoot some information in here. So what I'm going to do is I need at least the ID, and I'll take the value. So I'm gonna, when I throw this in here, I'm gonna, do I need the ID though? I don't know if I need it, but I'll take it. Oh wait, no, I need the, I guess the, I need the X and Y. That's what I need. Because the way we have it here, remember, it's like the X, right, and then the Y, right? So I'll call it X and Y because that makes sense. So actually, no, I'll call it column and row, because that makes perfect sense, since it's not really X and Y values. It's like column and row. Okay. So we want to select the channel that is, okay, so if I press this button, I get 0, 0. This is 1, 0. So the first number is the column. Yes, so I want to use the column column to select the channel. And I think that's literally all that I have to do. Now all I have to do now is to execute this function. So where we say this is a pad, I'm going to leave this print in here just to make sure things are running, because that's kind of how I make sure things are functioning the way I think they are. Select underscore channel, or no, channel, wait, channel, select underscore channel, and I'm going to put in a column, and I'm going to put in row. Actually, you know what? Since I don't need row, I'm going to take that out. We just want the column. We just want the column. And I'm going to tell it what the column is. The column is, it is, so the PADS dictionary, right? And we look in the PADS dictionary and we're going to see the ID and say, oh, I didn't, it's PADS dictionary, PADS dict. And we need to check the ID of the particular button, right? So, but, all right, so, but I also need the, so I guess then I need to get the first one of that, the first index of that, I think. So column equals the first index of, I'm getting some type of error, so I'm probably doing something wrong here. Why isn't, or is it just like that? Maybe? Will this work? Control save. Then reload script. And I mean, let's see if I hit this, it gives me an error or not. Okay, so I hit the second row because there isn't a second row. It gave me an error, but on the first row it works fine. Or I mean, on the first column it works fine. On the second column, this here it gives me an error because there is no second object. So if I put in a second thing here, let's put in a bass drum here. See, now I'm going back between selecting column 1 and column 2, and I want to keep these like mad short. So I think like we're already on a good start, because now all we have to do is like make each one of these rows make a sound, and then I mean I'm gonna try to put in, actually no, yeah, so I'll stop here and then I'll do another video. I try to make each video like a reasonable length, like, because a lot of people may not even want to see this first video. So I'll be back on the second video. Adios. Okay, so I actually just realized that you guys couldn't see that because it's being blocked. But let me move this down here and move this guy out the way and do another kind of quick demonstration. You'll see that this is me changing the column, I mean the channels using the columns. I could do this all day, which is, it's really quick, man. Didn't take much to do like this stuff. I know I kind of already did some of the legwork, but that was just like, if you didn't want to see me press all the buttons and record down what all the buttons IDs are, and you didn't want to see me like type this, that would have been like 30 minutes of doing just that, because there's a lot of buttons and a lot of knobs on this device. So now I'm going to really finish this video. Okay. Yeah, they'll cut it off here, make another video. I might even make another video later on today just to finish it off. Just don't want the videos to be too long.